Each week we've been doing different ministry spotlights throughout the Lenten season, and we'll do it through the rest of March. So this week we're talking about small groups. And currently, most, if not, I think all of our small groups at St. Paul are led by me, which is why you see me and not someone else up here. I want to offer up this memory of mine. When I was in college, I worked with a group. I was at a church in Florida State, and one of my leadership positions was to lead a small group of other young men who were at the church together. And I just remembered how vulnerable and how impactful the conversations in that space can be. Sunday service is a great place for us to come together to encourage one another, but small groups are often the place where we can ask the questions that we don't get to ask in service, where we can get to know people in the way that Christ calls us to know them as members of the church, where we can dream together, where we can be present for one another. And I also want to name that this last Wednesday, we had a small group meet at St. Paul, and I wasn't there, and the conversation was just as rich as it would have been if I was there, maybe even richer. The group went just as well as it could have gone if I was there. And so I want to lift up two things with small groups. A, I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you can, close your eyes. And remember a time when you were surrounded by loved ones, where you felt comfortable, where you felt content and safe. If you can remember a time where that happened, maybe it was around a dinner or in a small group, would you just put your hand up? I think that's possible here in the life of the church. Small groups don't have to be centered. You can put your hands down if you'd like. Small groups don't have to be centered on studying the Bible or reading a book, or when Will decides to bring in some topic that isn't that enjoyable to talk about, but that he's been caught on. And so I want to invite you, if any of our small groups speak to you, we'd love for you to join us. They're all on Zoom, if you're on Zoom and that works for you. The Monday study was a way to make something that was more attainable for people who have busy schedules. It's just a half hour, and it's not deep in the sense that we're not having to study anything. You show up and we'll pray together. Wednesday, I think, is going to be a great group to support one another as we dream and think about what this stage means for many people as they retire, as kids move out of the house, and even grandkids move out of the house. And then Thursday is a time for us to dig deep into Scripture, and I've been very thankful for those who come to that. But maybe also there's a group that's on your heart that you'd like to have, and it doesn't have to happen weekly. It could happen monthly. It could happen bi-monthly. In most of the churches I've served in, one of the signs of a healthy church is the presence of active small groups where people can come, be seen, and be connected with others, where they can be encouraged and where they can be honest. I've thought about different sorts of groups that would be perfect for St. Paul, but let's just take a moment. And is there a group of people that you think deserve to have a space to gather and a time to gather? And if you think that's present here in this church, reach out to me and let's see. Maybe you're the person to help coordinate that group. You don't have to have a master's in divinity. You don't even have to have, any sort of degree. If you just care about people, leading or facilitating a small group is all that matters, is that you love them and care about the people who show up. And the conversation is rich and wonderful and deep no matter what happens. So I invite you to our existing small groups, but maybe there's another small group that would serve people here that currently aren't being served, to be in Christian community together. So that is our ministry spotlight. Again, please talk to me more if you have questions about that.